Hey, you're about to watch another video of mine. Thanks. Black lives still matter. They have always mattered. But the fight ain't over. So, check the description for petitions and things you can do to help. Because we still need to be working on this. We still need to be signing petitions, donating where we can, when we can, of course. And yeah, wear a mask in public. Alright, on to the video. This has been your Pam PSA. Hi friends, it's Pam. Don't think I'm gonna do many book hauls on this channel. I buy a lot of books, yes, there's a lot of them behind me, but I don't buy so many monthly that I think it's worth it to make like monthly book hauls. But this one's very special, as the title says, and I'll explain why. So, I'm a bit of a stats and data nerd, and in Excel I have a database of all the books I own. The ones behind me, the ones in my Kobo, my audiobooks, I have a database to keep track of them all. I started this database because I wasn't keeping track of the books I had here in my bedroom and the books that were at my family's chalet. So I needed to keep track of what books were here, what books were there. And then it just grew to so much more. I keep track of what I've read, what I haven't read, and what I haven't finished reading. I also keep track of some of the major stores I buy from, including my favorite little independent bookstore. I love that place so much. They're so sweet and warm, and I've gotten so many books from there. And as I was going through my database at some point, I noticed that I was at 95 books. And I was like, ooh, that's close to 100. Alright then, I decided, because of all the pandemic going on and they had to close for a little bit, I decided I was going to place an order on their website for 5 books that I wanted to support them and to reach this milestone of 100 books from my favorite independent bookstore. So I felt really great placing this order, and I'll be sharing those books with you in just a minute. Basically, I placed that order end of May, yeah, and then last weekend, middle of June, I was like, okay, they've probably arrived, maybe, I don't know, I didn't get any email or whatever, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go in anyway, see what's up. So when I asked about my order, this is so funny, it's so funny to me, it turns out that they had accidentally shipped my order from their store to my house. Now, you're like, okay, cool, that's fine, it's just an independent bookstore, they just shipped to your house, okay, cool. But the thing is, this independent bookstore that I love is 3 hours away. So, like, anyway. So yeah, we had driven to my family's chalet, the bookstore is near my family's chalet, and they had shipped, the books had traveled from wherever to this bookstore, and then they traveled 3 hours here, and I traveled 3 hours there, and oh my god. So anyway, the books arrived safe and sound to my house the Sunday we got back, which is great. So I'm very excited to share these books, and let's get into them, I guess. Yeah! So, 100 books from my favorite independent bookstore. They're so nice in there. Anyway, so yeah, the first book I have here, I'm really hoping I have things centered right. I can't see what the camera's looking at, I can just see the lens, and I can kind of guess how things are. So I'm going to do my best to hold things as best as I can. I don't even know if you can already see this pile here. I'm going to move it a little. Who knows? Doesn't matter. I'm new to this, if you couldn't tell. Alright, this is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone. If I mispronounce someone's name, do correct me. Pronouncing someone's name correctly is something that's very important to me, so I'm very, very happy to be educated on how to pronounce someone's name. Anyway, this book's quite short, but it's a really nice paperback. Like, if you know Ariel Bissett, the flop test, how floppy a book is. And it's got a beautiful cardinal in the front and some other kind of bluebird. Kayla from Books and Lala had read this book in one of her videos. If I can remember it, I'll try and link it below. And she didn't like it that much, but I really liked the concept of it, so I was like, I need to get that. That's book number 1 that was in the box. Book number 2, Albatross by Terry Fallis. This is a Canadian author, and it's got deckled edges, which doesn't matter at all, but that surprised me when I pulled it out of the box. Ariel Bissett, one of my favorite booktubers, recommended this because just the way she described it was really, really intriguing. So, oh yeah, I didn't really say what this is about. I'm sorry. I'm not used to talking about books out loud to a camera. I'm getting used to things. So, this is how you lose a time war. I think it's about 2 time-traveling agents. Something like that. I've heard it's sci-fi and it's weird, so that's all I needed to know, really. Anyway, and then Albatross is about a high school kid who ends up finding out he's supposedly just physically gifted at golf, but he hates golf. And Ariel Bissett sold me on the way she described it that, like, read this even if you hate golf, because the main character hates golf. Now, I don't think I hate golf, but I don't like it. I don't want to play it myself, but I'd love to read about a character who doesn't want to play it. And apparently he wants to be a writer. I can admire that. The next book is a graphic novel, Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me, by Mariko Tamaki and Rosemary Valero O'Connell. The writer of this duo is Canadian, I'm pretty sure. And this was recommended by Ariel Bissett because she loves graphic novels, and she said she read this at a really important time in her life, and I just really appreciate when people say, this book helped me. Like, I'm not looking for help about breakups, but it looks like a really pretty graphic novel. It's got, like, beautiful little pink highlights on every page. I'm very excited. The next 2 books are also recommendations from Kayla from Books and Lala, and I don't really know how to introduce them, so I'll just do them, you know? Every Heart a Dory by Seanan McGuire. This is a series she really admires, and it's about children who disappear and reappear. Something like that. And it's a short little book, but, like, the premise is intriguing, and I quite admire and trust Books and Lala's recommendations. And this next book was one of her top books of 2019, and it's Middle Game. I'm very behind on this. This book came out the day before my birthday in 2019, and I didn't hear about it until, like, a month ago. I don't know how that happened, but I'm very excited for it. Literally, if you ask anyone who is in my real life what I talked to them about in the last 3 weeks, I probably mentioned this. Oh, I'm really excited for this book called Middle Game. I'm so excited to read this book that I went on Amazon and I bought black sticky notes and a white gel pen to annotate this book with. So I'm very excited to read this book. I just think the aesthetic. It's going to be nice having black sticky notes sticking out of that book. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, so while I was in the bookstore this weekend checking up on my order and finding out it got shipped to my house, I bought 4 more books while I was there. Because I had missed that place so much and I found wonderful books. So, of the 4, I've already started 2 of them. So we'll start with those 2 and move on to the ones I haven't started yet. So to start, Bunny by Mona Awad. Awad, I'm pretty sure. This book's weird, apparently. This was another one of Books and Lala's recommendations. It was, I think, one of her top books of 2019. Either way, she really enjoyed it. This is so cool to me, and it's really soft paperback. And to switch back to Ariel Bissett, good flop. Good flop on this book. Either way, I already have 2 hot pink sticky notes sticking out of it, and I'm only on chapter 3. So I'm interested. I'm very, very curious to see how things go. But I'm putting it a little bit on the back burner because of the next book I started and I really, really want to finish. The Skin We're In by Desmond Cole. So I didn't really talk about what Bunny's about because, I don't know. You can look it up. Apparently it's very weird and it's under horror, although it's got that adorable cover. Who knows? But this book is much more important to talk about because it's about a year of Black resistance and power. It's written by a Canadian author who worked for the Toronto Star. So he's a journalist and an activist. He describes the year of 2017, 1 chapter for every month, about things that have happened about Black resistance and power. And it has been incredible to read so far. I'm only in chapter June. I think it's chapter 6, actually. I don't know. So, I started this. I'm really enjoying it. Desmond Cole has a lovely writing style. It's definitely a very important read right now. I feel lucky that I was able to pick this book up to read it, and I think I'm really tempted to get the audiobook of it to listen to him, because it's narrated by Desmond Cole himself, so I'm thinking of getting the audiobook to listen to him tell me his words at the same time as reading them. So yeah, very excited to continue this. I'm only under halfway, and I'm sure every chapter will be great after this one. You know? Just excited to continue books. Anyway, the next book I picked up was Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This came out last July, and I've been so excited for it since, and then I just picked it up this weekend because they had a paperback copy there, and I got excited. more very good flop. So this book is about some strange toxin that's been released or something at a school. Things get weird. So, very excited. Beautiful cover design. Anyway, the last book I got is a very happy book. There's a friend in my life who says I read too many sad books, so I'm excited to tell her I got a happy book. You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. Leah Johnson, I should have looked up if she's a Leah or a Leah. I'm really sorry. So, this book is about a girl who, what does it say? The financial aid she was counting on unexpectedly falls through. Liz's plans come crashing down. And I think she ends up deciding to run for her school's prom queen, because apparently prom king and prom queen get a scholarship. That's good for her. And apparently things ensue. It's apparently an FF romance, which I'm excited to read about. This is it looks like it's a very happy book, which I need right now. A love story worthy of a crown. Mason Deaver. Wonderful. Love them. And absolutely gorgeous cover design. I have no idea if the camera can see that. If it cannot, I will do a better job of trying to show you that the title is engraved in the cover. It is very cool. Alright. So those were 9 books I got altogether. I have not gotten that many books all at once since my birthday a few years ago, because I've just tried to slow down on the amount of books I buy because I have so many to read behind me. So yeah, I've given myself the challenge to read those within the next 3 months. Who knows if that'll happen? I really hope so, because some of these I'm really, really excited about. Anyway, I'm really excited for the 2 I've already started. I'm going to try and force myself to finish these first before starting any of the other books. But I think they're, as much as this is very heavy to read, it's also kind of quick to read. I think just because the font's large, that's just a me thing though. But I'm making sure I'm taking in the information, because I'm learning. I'm trying to educate myself more. And then this I've just been excited about, and it'll be a nice change of pace to have some fiction to go along with my non-fiction. Anyway, so I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, I guess. Comment what book you've bought recently that you're really excited about. Or a book that you've talked about for a month and finally have in your possession. For me, that's Middle Game. Oh my god. And I'm not a big fan of fantasy. But there was just something about this that just really gripped me. Alright, yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye. I don't know, I need to come up with an outro, I think. Alright, goodbye. Have a good day.